Well, we definitely ended on a bit of a hot note this weekend. A lot of volume, a lot of volatility. In fact, we had $138 billion in daily trading volume over the last 24 hours. ADA, almost $1 billion of that itself. So that is something that we don't normally see. And I want to talk about kind of the ups and downs of the weekend. We do have some things coming Tuesday and Wednesday we need to prepare for. Could see some volatility off of that and something coming on Friday as well. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. It's been growing like crazy and it's all because of you guys. Now, ADA at the time of filming this video is about 54 and a quarter. This is basically exactly where we were at yesterday. I will say actually right now we're building a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders. You guys can see that left shoulder head. Here's the right shoulder. And there are a couple things pointing towards, again, a little bit of a rebound here. Not saying that this has to happen or play out perfectly. But what I will say is, again, complete reset on the daily stochastic RSI. We're heavily into the oversold range here on the RSI. And a lot of times these tend to lead to at least some sort of relief. All right, take a look back here in February after our wick down. We did have some sort of relief. Obviously, we dropped down lower, but that might mean we have a little bit of green as the week begins. All right, now BTC does have some work to do. We are currently sitting right at about our 7.0 on our fib retracement. We're very much descended from our global M2 liquidity. So if BTC is going to follow history, we could see some rallies ahead. Not saying again that has to happen for sure, but a lot of the volatility over the course of the weekend was caused by Iran closing the Strait of Hormuz, kind of putting hopefully I'm saying that right, kind of putting a bottleneck on global oil shipments. I believe it's about 20% of the world's oil goes through that strait. So that obviously caused some uncertainty, and we saw some liquidations take place once again. Now, what I will say is we've gotten a little bit better, a little bit more stable in terms of that open interest in the crypto market. Remember, we talked about it being at like 9, almost 10%. Right now, we're at about 5% in terms of an open interest difference in terms of ADA. Still to the short side, still a lot of people betting on downside in the crypto market. But now it's a question of, is this more of a short-term deal, or is this something that is going to last? Is this something that's going to be very loud heading forward? Some people say yes, some people say no. Right now, it seems like things have kind of died down per se. There hasn't really been any escalations, at least at this point. Maybe that changes in the early part of this week, but we'll just have to obviously watch and wait and see what happens there. A little bit of confidence coming back into capital in the market. We're having a little bit of red day in terms of USDT dominance, so capital flowing back to assets, and really far down from obviously this 5.26%. We're at 5.08%. So people have been actively buying the dip and defending price, and that's a good thing. That's what you want to see. There hasn't been a huge bearish takeover in terms of sentiment in the crypto market. Now, things I will mention, we obviously are going to have a stock market open today. Stock futures are down. Oil prices are up. So it's a question of, do we see that consistent theme as the day goes on? Do we see some of that spill over to crypto, or is that already priced into what we're seeing? We might see some volatility and some chop as the day progresses, but it's a question of, again, does that lead to liquidations and shorts? Does that cause further drops and sporadic behavior from money in the market? I will say a lot of these drops that we've been seeing here, take a look right when U.S. money wakes up. Definitely something to pay attention to there. Back here on Saturday, right as U.S. money wakes up. Even if we rewind here, Friday, right as U.S. money wakes up. So right now it's 6:18 Central Standard Time. In about an hour, U.S. money is going to wake up. And it's a question of, what do they do? Do they dump the markets again? Does that lead to more uncertainty, more volatility in the market? That's what we'll have to watch and wait for, I guess, unfortunately, right? Now, I will say that on Tuesday and Wednesday, Jerome Powell will, in fact, be speaking, I think, at the semi-annual monetary policy report to Congress. And it's a question of now, because of this global uncertainty, does this actually force the Fed's hand into cutting rates? It can, in fact, do that. I'm not ready to say that at this point because, again, we're very, very just shortly extended into this. And it's a question, again, of, by the time we get to the next FOMC meeting, which is taking place in July, are we going to see those cuts take place? Now, right now, betting odds, not very high. All right, 14.5%. But again, if global conflict does, in fact, rise, then you could start to see this likelihood shift as we get closer to that meeting. So that meeting is going to be all the way at the end of July. So definitely pay attention to that. But again, I'm very curious to see where the day begins. We'll see again if we do get any spillover, any weekly reaction here. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think is ahead as the week begins? So have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.